magkakaroon ng isa pang round, no, where each critic, according to the order earlier, can bring up ideas or concerns that were broached by the other critics and also ask questions or pose questions to the others around the table. So I just like to highlight some of the motifs or yung nakakatuwa dahil magkakaiba, no, ang pananaw ng mga kritika. Nag-agree sa certain points and I'd like to highlight some of them already. So we are all agreed that both cinema and criticism are material, historical, and political, and in a sense, may partisanship parate. So ilang ulit lumalabas yung sino ang kritiko, para kanino sumusulat, etc. Nakakatawa din na tukuyan na merong move that is sort of against romanticizing the idea of the critic, no, and criticism in general. And I think everyone in the panel talked about the place of the karaniwang tao sa sine at sa kritika. At isa rin na motif sa usapin ay yung specific subject position ng kritiko at yung kanyang background at training at yung pangangailangan ng kritika na maging discipline at magkaroon ng rigor at ng methodology at mabuttress ng theory. No? Of course, some unresolved ideas broached are the question of the issue of language and jargon, and isa pang motif, yung the place of online reviewers. No? At maganda yung ating simula na pangkasaysayan kay Nifio Campat, yung kasalukuyan na kalakaran ng film reviewing. So, I'd like to call the critics again one by one to bring up questions to each other, if any, or to address specific ideas that have been mentioned, especially as they pertain to your own works, if any. So, simulan po natin kay, or if you don't want in that order, then anyone else. Simulan lang po natin dito sa, kasi, sige, so, tayo ba ay may consensus? So, we'll open the floor to the audience for questions. Actually, dapat maglagay tayo ng microphone ulit sa harap. Professor Edwihano. So, yung iba po na may katanungan, pwedeng magpakilala, magsabi ng kanilang affiliation, and then kung kanila na-address yung tanong.
I'm glad to see Professor Dr. Johnson and Choi Pangilinan mentioned something about grad theory and post theory. Kasi sa may mga lumalabas na mga articles na the film theory is dead, no? Auteur theory is dead, mga ganon. All the established theories we still teach in the academy become it's not new anymore because at the time those theories were developed, they were radical, they were alternative readings to the traditional conventions of the time. Theories like auteur theory nga, feminist, queer theory, Marxist, semiotics, down the line. So I'm just wondering kung ano yung take nyo dun sa mga sinasabi na grand theory is not applicable anymore dahil hindi na raw siya bago ngayon and they are already conventional wisdom in film criticism.
I think yung objection sa grand theory kasi Portwell, ang objection nila is actually kasi yung grand theory is really was for game like analysis and deconstruction sa theory. marami tayong matutuhan sa mga teorya nung nakaraan na nag-a-apply ngayon sa mga pelikulang Pilipino. So, ang feminismo ay I think valid ba din, ha? Kasi yung concept halimbawa ng pananaw o magtanaw ng lalaki, yung male gaze, I think still useful, no? for us. Makikita natin ito halimbawa sa difference between, let's say, a movie like Pacifica Palaypay and Blackout. Ano yung difference ng dalawang yun? Actually, it is the male gaze looking at the gay man, right? And shaping the narrative according to their own particular gaze. Yung Blackout obviously comes from a gay looking at the gay, right? It's an inside the view already, no? So, hindi ako naniwala na lahat ng teorya na yun ay hindi mo na magagamit. Kasi marami sa kanila are still applicable. I think the basic insights of Marxism are still very enlightening. It's still, to me, the most enlightening theory for understanding Philippine society and the contradictions of Philippine society. Pero, huwag yung marireduce lamang doon. Yun ang problema. So, halimbawa, hindi naman lahat ng oppression ay dahil sa uri. Ang patriarchy isa ding institusyon na mapakapi. Hindi naman uri yun. Kasi merong mayaman na lalaking mapakapi at meron ding mahirap na lalaki na mapakapi. So it goes beyond classes. So class does not explain everything. So kanya nga nabuo yung feminist theory kasi sinasabi nila sa Marxismo parang lahat na lang ng pang-api ay ayon sa uri. Hindi naman gano'n. Meron ding iba't ibang uri ng pang-api based on gender. So ako, I still believe that many of the theories can be helpful, no? in shedding light on Philippine cinema.
So yung sagot ko kay Professor Lizano, so dalawa kasing may pakulo niyang pag-dismantle ng grand theory. So sa film, siyempre ito yung gitgita ni Bordwell bilang cognitivist, di ba, yung kanyang way of analysis. Na kaya niya pinaggigilan yung psychoanalysis, Marxism, dahil kay Zizek, di ba, meron silang dialogo sa librong Philosophy and the Moving Image. Ang argumento ni Bordwell, ay kailangan i-dismantle ito dahil hindi tunay na lubusang nakikita yung film as film, di ba? Ang sagot naman ni Zizek, ito yung kapangyarihan ng aking criticism. Nakikita ko. So itong isa nag-aakusa na nilalapat mo lang yung teorya, gaya ng sinabi ni Dr. Chongson. Pero kay Zizek, sabi niya, kahit ano yung panoorin ko, ito na yung theory ko. Diba? So sa mas malaking spero ng teorya, syempre sinimulan nito ng mga postmodernists, diba, ni Lyotard, na parang sinasabi nila na parang against totality. When in fact, totality rin naman yung pananaw nila na walang totalidad, di ba? So, ang pananaw nila, dismantle lang to, pinag-initan nila yung Marxism, etc. Feminism din, di ba? Dismantle ito at magpunta na lang tayo sa queer o yung mas may performativity, etc. Pero lahat ito ay manipulation nga rin. Yung pananaw ko kasi, bilang nasa ikatlong daigdig, ikatlong sine, kailangan nilalapat mo rin yung teorya sa pangangailangan. Ano yung pangangailangan mo sa sining, ano yung pangangailangan ng bayan mo na tatangkilik sa sining ngayon. So, kaya nga yung stand ko, then, i-mix mo, di ba? Ibig sabihin yung mga teorya na magagamit mo para masawata mo yung teksto, di ba? So, kaya nga delikado yung postmodernism kasi skeptic lang sila always eh. Pero, parang dismantle ng dismantle, pero walang binubuo at the end. Parang kay Lyotard, yung pananaw niya, everything is a game. Change the rules. Yun yung sinasabi ni Lyotard, di ba? Sa pagpapaunlad dyan ng pananaw ni Wittgenstein. So parang yun yung problema. Kaya maganda yung teorya may lapat sa lupa. Di ba? Yung lapat sa lupa kasi galing din naman sa danas yung pelikula. So kung malayo, makikita mo na ang cook na teorya yung gagamitin mo. Diba? At hindi siyempre post-politics at post-theory.
Meron pa Actually, gusto ko rin i-address, I think, just a follow-up question to the concern about the place of theory in criticism. So, I would assume that even if all the critics in this panel share certain presuppositions about the critic should be partisan and should be for the people, is where when theory comes in, this is where the differences will begin. No? At isa dun nga na nabanggit kanina that I'd like to address the question of like, the one who writes. So a difficult, dense, critical reading of a film, for instance, over or as opposed to an accessible way of writing criticism. You know, the question of writing for the papers by journalists and today writing of the bloggers sa kanilang mga sites, sa websites o film blogs. So where do you draw or where do you stand in relation to this? Yung ang kahilingan ba ng teorya ay yung precision ng lengguwahe and therefore yung tinutukoy natin na metodolohiya at rigor ng isang kritik kailangan ng katapat na uri ng pagsulat o ang tinutukoy ba natin ay dahil sila ang mambabasa at therefore criticism ay para sa mga tao gaya ng binabanggit ni Dr. Lumbera nung umpisa, no? Na ang inaabot ay yung mga contemporary na hindi nanonood ng Tagalog na pelikula halimbawa. So, saan ang inyong punto de vista tungkol sa usapin ng lengguwahe at paggamit ng teorya sa pagsulat ng criticism?
Okay, mahirap sagutin. Depende kasi yan sa kung anong pinagkakaabalahan ng utak mo, no? Halimbawa, ano bang tanong ang binubuo ko, no? Laging doon naman ako nagsisimula. Ano bang mga tanong na pwede kong pulutin habang naglalakad ako, no? And then from that question, doon ko i-interrogate yung sarili ko o yung sarili na yung lipunan natin, no? Halimbawa, to be more specific, napag-usapan na natin to, Patrick, na siguro sabihin ko na rin dito, no? Bigla ako naglalakad, bigla akong naisip, Patrick Campos, no? No? Okay. Meron ba tayong pwedeng tawag, lagi ko nababasa yung salitang regional cinema. Naglalakad ako minsan, bigla akong nagbasa, no? Ano ba ang regional cinema? Then, pinilit kong i-problematize at sinusulat ko pa hanggang ngayon, no? At nakita ko, itong tanong na ito, saan ako posibleng pwedeng humugot ng makakatulong sa akin para masagot ang tanong na ito. At sa aking karanasan ng mga panahong yun, na dinadala ko ngayon habang binidevelop yung paper, ay humugot ako sa mga alam kong posibleng makasagot at ito sa anthropological theories, no? Sa usapin ng local knowledge, no? Paano dinibate ang local knowledge sa kasaysayan ng anthropologiya. At doon ko nilugahin inisyal kong mga pagpupuro o pananaw tigil sa regional cinema at pangangahasa kong sabihin, there's no regional cinema. We have national cinemas from the regions. No? At pino-formulate ko pa, no? Of course, pino-formulate ko pa yung mga variations niya. No? At halimbawa, may higas ako po ng liwanag, may pinapansin ko, yung political decisions ang pagtingin sa regional cinema. Pero kung titignan ko usapin ng local knowledge, ay hindi lang siya usapin ng political divisions, but other variables as well that we need to consider when we try to look at patterns of what we mean by regional cinema. At initially, ang aking gustong i-assume ay there is no regional cinema. I would like to call them national cinema from the regions. No? Maynila sa kupo ng liwanag, hindi po pinanggaling ng Maynila yan, that's national cinema. Kung titingnan natin yung polytecho ng ownership ng pelikula, in the films, no? Pero sino producer, no? Partnership between the state and some companies, no? Or some individuals. So in the old tradition of indie cinema, parang hindi yung indie cinema, no? So there's now what I would like to call state indie cinema, no? So ito yung mga variations. So the question is, saan ka humuhugot? Huhugot ka pa rin, perhaps from your experiences, and also maybe I would admit from available tools of analysis. Ayoko sabihin teorya, tools of analysis, no? Mga kasangkapan na pwedeng tumulong sa'yo para magbigay ng kabuluhan sa tanong mo, no? Whether tanggapin yan o hindi, ibang usapan kasi idadarang pa yan sa debate. No? And I think that's well based on, tingin ko, isang pwedeng pagsimulan. No? Hindi ka talaga makakapitaw doon sa teorya o tools of analysis. Not that hindi na muna natin sabihin kung saan nagagaling yung tools of analysis. But you need these tools of analysis, no? Which I think kailangan talaga natin.
Sa akin naman, parang may nararamdaman tayo, fear of theory. At saka, makatrauma ka. Hindi ka na. Hindi ko alam saan galing yung trauma na yun na hindi mo wala-wala na mabalik mo. Kasi yung trauma. Sa tingin ko, dapat may shift siguro pa sa pag-conceptualize ng theory. Hindi naman dapat titingnan ito as theory, as a parang fully formed value of knowledge. Na parang nandiyan na siya, natagnan na, tapos i-apply. I hate that word, application. That phrase, application. I don't think that happens. So what I think we should be aware of is our engagement with the theoretical. Our engagement with the theoretical. So, hindi kailangan na parang isipin na yung mga theory na yan, nandiyan na, tapos i-apply na lang. Katulad ng Marxism halimbawa. So, gusto ko rin i-tanongin si Joy or some extent si Roland. Kung engagement kayo with the theoretical, hindi ba dapat yung political project ng Marxism i-speculate nyo rin yung theoretically para hindi nyo yun parang titingnan dyan as fully formed, di ba? So parang hindi magiging prescriptive or programmatic yung theoretical description of Marxism. Isang punto yun. Yung pangalawang punto ko ay yung naniwala ako na yung criticism naman is a conversation. No? Tapos nangyayari ito sa iba't ibang class. No? So, iba't ibang lenguahe, iba't ibang paraan ng pagsulit. So, parang I take exception to how, for instance, Nick would describe some forms of criticism as pedantic dahil hindi naiintindihan. No? Sa tingin ko, pag hindi natin naiintindihan ang isang teksto, hindi ito isang impasse. Sabi nga ni Derrida, hindi naman impasse yun. Ito isang pagkakataon. It's an opportunity to engage with the people. So, para sa akin, marami akong librong hindi maintindihan. Sa unang basa, sa pangalawang basa, sa pangatlong basa. Pero hindi ko sinasabing pedantic yun. Binabalikan ko yun. Para I invest intellectually in trying to understand the text. Tapos kung hindi talaga, siguro next time. Maybe not in my life. So yun lang yung sa akin. Pag may mga teksto tayong hindi naiintindihan, huwag tayong matakot. This is an opportunity to engage with the text.
Yung use ko ng pedantic doon was in relation to a specific audience, a popular audience. So in other words, kung sumusulat ka para sa audience na yun, if you use words like that, that's pedantry. Kasi you're setting yourself above them. In other words, may kwento it's a popular audience. No? So pagka gumamit ka ng mga words na alam mo kailangan ipaliwanag, pero this mo lang na alam, na-assume mo na alam nila, yun katawag kong pedantry. Pero I know what you mean, and that's what I wanted to say na in relation to your question. Yung criticism siguro should be distinguished dalawang klase. No? Merong criticism na popular, which is the journalistic one. And then one that is really academic, which is published in journals. So, yung hindi natin sasabi na hindi dapat gumawa ng kritisismo na masyadong involved intellectually. Hindi. As a matter of fact, dapat din gawin yun. Kasi yung difficulty nung pagbasa natin sa mga ganung mga kasulatan ay borne out by the intricacy of the analysis itself. Right? So in other words, hindi yun pedantry. They don't call it pedantry at all. It is convoluted because of the complexity of the ideas that are being discussed. That, I think, belongs to academic journalism. Ang one natin, kailangan bagay. Susulat ka para sa dyaryo, edi, yung essence gusto mong sabihin, pwede mong gawin yon, sabihin in a popular way. Na wala ka nang babanggitin na jargon, na theoretical, pero masasabi mo pa rin in a way na maintindihan karaniwang tao. Meron akong gustong good example na ganyan, yung kay Jonathan Beller na analysis ng Orphan Novis, ano? Yung nasa geopolitics na libro ni Roland. Pinabasa ko yan sa mga estudyante. So, academic na yung setting. Talagang kukomprehensin ng lahat. Ano ba gusto sabihin ng taong to? Right? Hindi, academic na yung setting, ha? Actually, basahin mo, I read it 3-4 times. And then I realized, ito lang gusto niya sabihin. Okay, so, and na-realize ko din na actually pwede mo palang sabihin ito in a way na malinaw, hindi mo siya sinisimplify, hindi mo siya ginagawa simplistic, pero nagiging mas simple yung paglalahad ng mga ideya. Okay? So, I guess that's an example of, okay yon because that's in the book which is academic. Pero kung halimbawa susulat siya para sa isang popular na outlet, he can actually say the same thing in a way that will not make it simplistic, but at the same time will make it accessible to the ordinary reader. So siguro, yung audience, ang importanteng alam natin, no? Yung gusto nating ma-reach. No?
Very quick response na. So I think yung issue doon it would be, how do we conceptualize this audience? Sino ba ito mga ito? Kasi parang if we assume na yung level ng intellectual effort ng audience, sila dito lamang, hindi pwede lumakas doon, paano man natin nalaman yun? Diba? Nag-research na tayo, sino sila. So isang issue po doon, hindi ba rin i-reproduce lamang natin sila? Yung assumption natin na, hindi nyo na ito maintindihan. Kaya dapat sisimplihan. So, sa akin, malaking issue yun. Kasi, may karanasan ako dyan. Kasi, I wrote for Manila Standard for 4 years. Kasi all of this, in an entertainment. Okay? So, doon ko lang na calibrate yung language. Talagang, kasi may bilang kritiko na mula sa akademya, may mga expectation sa atin ang academic community. Parang ano ba naman itong sinusulat ni Patrick? Parang napakasimple. On the one hand. Tapos yung popular audience naman may expectations din na dapat maintindihan. But I think it is only through constant try, sustain critical practice, para makuha ng critical yung calibrated language that responds to those expectations. The expectation for popular audience, however we conceive that popular audience is kasi hindi pa rin malinaw sa atin kung sino ang mga yan, at saka paano tayo pinabasa. At saka of course yung expectations na atin sa'yo na yun naman ang community mo. Sabi ng editor sa akin, sabi ko ano ba, masyado bang mahirap? At para ipahin ko na lang yung pagsulat, o di kaya hindi na ako magsulat kasi baka sayang yung time. Sabi niya, Patrick, mahirap, pero may audience ka. May mga sumusulat sa amin, may mga nagre-require ng column sa class. So, ibig sabihin, hindi mo man makuha lahat, may audience pa rin.
Actually, may isang hanging question tungkol sa pag-theorize sa Marxism. Pero gusto ko lang idagdag since we're in this ano. So, actually, yung usapin ng online review therefore becomes very important because yung medium itself, hindi madali na dyaryo pa ito. O, diba? Because it's online. And so the question would be, isang tanong tungkol sa relasyon halimbawa na pangkasaysayan ng dating journalist na sumusulat ng reviews in newspapers or magazines at yung kasalukuyang nagbo-blog. Meron ba itong pinagkaiba o meron din ba tayong ine-expect from a blogger na hindi natin o na ine-expect din natin doon sa mga dating journalists who wrote for magazines? And another thing which was mentioned by a critic from the pseudo-intellectual magazine na tungkol dun sa usapin na bakit ang pagsusulat ng kritika ay hindi nag-advance theoretically. I think that was one of the ideas mentioned in Manila Review by another critic that we've invited but cannot be here today. So parang yung usapin ng must there be progress in the theorizing of criticism and bakit hindi yun nakikita sa kritika ng ilang critics. So, yung tanong na kung nagsusulat ka online, do you assume that you should write popularly, therefore, for everyone to read? And so, isa sa mga, of course, also to mention it, yung kinaharap ng Young Critic Circle about such a question, no? And one of the things that lumalabas is, dahil nilagay mo online, you should write for online readers. But is this necessarily true? I mean, is it comparative? Do we say that the old journalists who wrote reviews in magazines before in the 70s are like the film bloggers today who write for the general audience? And so, should we have different expectations or do they have comparable roles and functions as critics or reviewers qualified? So, meron po bang gustong sumagot sa ating mga panelists na tanong? So, kung online siya, iba ba yung kahilingan or something? This was partly answered by Roland. It's question of access, etc. But can we not write difficult texts online?
Ang kaiba ng writing for the newspapers at online, yung newspaper kailangan bilhin. At kailangan medyo sanay kang magbasa ng dyaryo na a lot of the generation of young people hindi na sanay magbasa ng dyaryo o sulit na magbasa ng dyaryo. Samantalang online ay, for most part, relatively free yung internet access. Which means that at yun naman talagang papel ng online, nagkikater siya hindi sa popular na market, pero niche markets lang talaga. Food blogger ka na social, at maraming dito sa iyo dyan, or film critic ka na nanlalaglag, or repository ka na lahat ng film criticism, may utility ito sa napakaraming tao, pero very specific. Hindi siya katulad ng Inquirer na hundreds of thousands of hits I would assume on a weekly basis. So ibig sabihin, walang kahilingan na mag-con ka dun sa dikta ng editorial prerogative ng dyaryo. Samantalang dito ay yung faultiness din ng issue ay parang may agency to be able to deliver the kinds of things you want your assumed public to read. No? So, parang may a bit of arrogance yun. At nag-work nga kung mas balahura, mas malakas yung hit mo sa online. Yung mas naglalaglag ka, nag-rant ka tungkol sa various issues, 200 likes. Rather than yung medyo may pa-intellectual ka na hindi mo kaya i-spell ng less than 140 characters ay likely dito mariretweet ng maraming tao. So in other words, at nadi-discover natin, parang yun yung ating virtual voice. Kung alin yung nag-hit at hindi nag-hit. Very simple example, hindi mo sasabihin na post mo ay namatay ang tatay ko. Ang sasabihin mo ay, your father passed away, please generate prayers for him. Magla-like yung malasan damak-mak na tao. Pero wala magla-like pag in-announce kung patay yung tatay ko, period. In other words, pati yun, may kind of style, a kind of linguistic parameters to be able to get those much-needed likes at comes in for free for most part. At ang panangalan niyan, for a lot of young people, ay may advertisement na papasok for hit. So, yun yung difference niyan. Ako talaga, dahil tayo nasa academy, ako nag-maintain pa rin ang kind of yung film theory or film criticism na that is academic. I think yung kulang nga sa atin, kaya hindi tayo makapag-spell out ng things that are needed changes sa ating actual film production.
it would take, for example, Nick De Ocampo, yung mga pinupunan niya Kevin, that was an engagement that was supposed to happen immediately after. Pero in retrospect, pumapasok siya some 20 years after. Ibig sabihin, napaka-laggard natin sa criticism. At hindi nga natin nakukuha yun kapag we go through the plane of the popular. Ako, I would stand by, katulad na, pero I would also take issue dun sa idea na prescriptive ang theory, na meron siyang gustong sabihin. Necessarily, pag ginamit mo yung theory, meron kang platform, may wager ka na itinataya. Hindi ka pwede mag-feminist theory para mapasin ang feminism o mapasin yung women dito sa pelikula na to. Hindi ka gagamit ang Marxism para pumiling dito sa ruling class. But to be able to quote to cite yung ambivalence of both the ruling class and the ruling class. In other words, hindi siya prescriptive in a sense na meron ka lang isang way of seeing things. Pero meron kang wager, pinupusta sa essay na ito, sa academic writing na ito, ito ang aking pananaw tungkol sa pelikula na may sinasabi tungkol sa organization, invisible structures that govern our ways of thinking in the present or in such historical points in time. Kaya medyo mas mahirap siyang sulatin dahil mas philosophical or mas conceptual yung academic writing. At hindi rin siya nagtatarget na to be loved and read by everyone. Kahit undergraduates, hindi siya nasa, for the most part, ibig sabihin ay very specific din ang audience nito. Kung kailangan mo gumawa ng papel kay Ora Pronopis, then you have to go through this review of related literature para alam mo kung ano yung malalampasan mo pa na klase ng speculation, wager na ginawa ng ilang better, etc. At so, ibig sabihin ay may acknowledgement ng certain kind of historicity kung paano din tayo nag-develop as itong discipline na ito. But so far, ano lang tayo naglalamay ngayon? Wala tayong bangkay, pero kung sa haba siya, mas marabay kung yung criticism na ito.
Maganda na i-raise ni Dr. Tolentino. Na-raise ni Dr. Tolentino yung tanong nga bali na dahil binibigyan ko ako ng pagkakataon, may tanong ko rin nga ito, no? Dahil ako talaga ay historiador, no? That's why I still feel that, you know, medyo I'm an odd man out here, and my criticism really stems from what I'm writing right now. At ang interest ko dito sa grupo ninyo ay bakit nga ba naglalag and why did it have, in fact, tanong ko minsan is I feel it's a burden ko minsan. Bakit, you know, why will I have to think about this na dapat nung una pa talaga may namumuuna na ang engagement walang question but ang gusto ko may tanong ngayon, matagal ko na gusto itanong ito sa unang nagtayo ng manunuring abali. Kung 38 years na kayo ngayon, mula sa pagkabuo ng manunuri since 1976, may tatanong na ba natin sa inyo ito na may umusbong na nga ba na una, Churea, kung hindi man katanggap-tanggap ang Churea, ito ay Teorya. Okay. Ano tawag nito, yung engagement wala namang itatanong pero sa maiksing pag-describe siguro, ano ang paninindigan na talaga na manunuri? Or is this something that is as fleeting as we perceive it to be? Pwede ba matanong si Dr. Lumbera sa bagay na to?
Sa palagay ko, when we formed the Manunuri, there was no overriding theory that the people who joined the group had in mind. It's a project in process. So people came mostly from the academe, and they were using what they knew about criticism, whether it's not film criticism, but what they knew about the critical reading of text. So, in the course of time, and from my own personal experience, evolve. You move on to something that would qualify as the kind of theory that you subscribe to. Walang ready-made theory for those people who joined the Manunuki. I mean, all of us were literally groping for what needs to be said about Philippine City.
Dr. Chokson, as editor of already 4 volumes, sa pagbuo mo nito, minabuo din ba na dominance?
Actually, totoo yung sasabi ni Ben, nung i-form namin Manunuri, we were united by one goal, and that was to help the film industry, especially young artists like Lino Broca and Ismael Bernal, who were already creating films that we felt should be supported, because these are truly artistic films that the group endorsed. No? So, in other words, kung meron mang point of unity siguro is the artistry of film, which is basically what is that? Parang may artistic integrity yung pelikula, so yun yung susupport. Hindi pa kami agreed on halimbawa, between ano ba yung yung arting dalawang pugad sa Ibon at saka yung the one that is kasi may mga pelikula na parehong mahusay. Tapos kung parehong mahusay, ano yung magiging tiebreaker doon? Anong consideration? And the consideration we gave was that kung mas